Today we are going to study a new topic of plant physiology, that is ascent of sap. In a syllabus, we have to study introduction and definition of ascent of sap, transpiration or cohesion tension theory with reference to evidences and objections also, and factors affecting the ascent of sap. So first, that is a introduction. Here you know that plants absorb water and minerals from the soil in which they are fixed with the help of their root system. The water that is absorbed is with the dissolved minerals or nutrients, and this water with the dissolved nutrients or minerals is known as sap. The absorbed water and minerals are supplied to the various plant parts like branches, leaves, flowers, fruits for their growth and development. The water along with dissolved nutrients is thus uplifted from the root and reaches to the tip of plant in a shoot or leaves, and this upward movement of sap is known as ascent of sap. That means the water and minerals absorbed by the roots, they are transported to the tip of plant that reaches up to the leaves, and tip of shoot is known as ascent of sap. And this movement of the sap, that is water and minerals from the root to the tip, is against the gravitational force. So it requires certain force so that this sap can be uplifted from root to the leaves or tip of the shoot. The definition: the upward movement of water and minerals from root to shoot tip in the plant is known as ascent of sap. So this is a simple definition of ascent of sap, that the upward movement of water and dissolved minerals from the root to the shoot tip in the plants is known as ascent of sap. And here this ascent of sap or transport of water and minerals from root to the tip of plant occurs through the xylem tissue, which is one of the important conducting tissue or vascular tissue in higher plants. Now this slide shows the path of ascent of sap. First of all, water and minerals are absorbed by the roots, then they are brought to the cortical cells or cortical region of the root, and ultimately this water and salt in the form of sap usually get entered into the xylem of root, and from this xylem here vessels, they are forming a pipeline like structure, and through these vessels ultimately it is brought to the leaves via this xylem vessels of the root to the xylem vessels of the stem, and from xylem vessels of stem to the xylem strand of the leaf, and from leaf xylem tissue the water and minerals, they are transported to the other mesophyll cells of the leaf. So this is the usual path of ascent of sap or water and minerals. Now we have to study the mechanism of ascent of sap or theories of ascent of sap. If you observe the books on a plant physiology, number of plant physiologists proposed different theories to explain the mechanism of ascent of sap from time to time, and all these theories of ascent of sap are further categorized into different types. Some are vital theories, some are physical force theories, and the most important theory that we have to study, that is mentioned in our university syllabus, is a transpiration pull theory. So we are not going to study in detail about the vital theories. That means the theories where the living cells of the roots are important. Physical force theories where the upliftment of water or ascent of sap takes place due to certain physical force that act there, and the most important, that is the transpiration pull theory. That means the ascent of sap takes place due to the force developed by a process of transpiration in the leaves, and not the root cells are responsible for the ascent of sap. So all earlier proposed theories are not able to fully explain the mechanism of ascent of sap. So phytal theories, physical force theories, and other so many such theories cannot explain fully the mechanism of ascent of sap, because they have so many limitations or so many drawbacks, and as a drawbacks or objections, the theories cannot be accepted for a longer time. So the theory that we have to study is a cohesion tension theory, which is also called as transpiration pull theory. Now this cohesion tension theory was first proposed by a great botanist Henry H. Dixon and John Joly in 1884. Now this cohesion tension theory was also called as a transpiration pull theory. So whatever may be the name, but the theory remains the same, that is cohesion tension theory or transpiration theory, proposed by H.H. Dixon and John Joly in 1884. This theory has certain assumptions, or you can say features or principles also. So here the first assumption or feature or principle is that the water molecules have a very strong mutual force of attraction, that is cohesive force. Water molecules among themselves have a strong cohesive force, and due to this phenomenon of cohesion, this ascent of sap takes place in plants to a considerable height. Then second assumption or principle is that this cohesion force is a very high. The magnitude is up to 350 atmospheres, and because of this such a cohesive force, water column get lifted up to a considerable height, more than 400 feet height, for a continuous period, or continuously forming a water column. Similarly, the strong attraction between water molecules and walls of xylems, that is called as adhesive force, and this phenomenon is known as adhesion. That means the inner wall of xylem shows a strong attraction with the water molecules, and this attraction of water molecules with the inner wall of xylem elements is called as adhesion force, and this phenomenon is known as adhesion, and so water molecules remain sticked or adhered to the wall of xylem elements, that is wall of vessels, and there is a continuous and heavy loss of water. This is the third principle of this theory, that there is a continuous and heavy loss of water taking place through the stomata present on the leaves by the phenomenon of transpiration, which we have studied earlier. Now this loss of water due to transpiration creates certain force that is called as pulling force. That force is called as pulling force, and it is also known as transpiration pulling force, and this force is again very high. So the transpiration pull or tension is created in the leaf and is now transmitted through a continuous water column up to the root tips, particularly to the root hairs, and this transpiration pull or force then uplifts the water and minerals from root to shoot continuously to any height of plants, and thus the water column in xylem is always under tension due to the transpiration pull, and this is the principle of the transpiration pool theory or cohesion tension theory. Now there are so many evidences supporting to this cohesion tension theory or transpiration pool theory. So there are many favorable evidences in support of this theory. The first one is the osmotic potential of the mesophyll cells is more than 20 atmosphere, and which is quite sufficient for the ascent of sap in all tall trees which are growing up to 200 meters. 200 meters here. I am not talking about it, but 200 meters high plant can usually receive water at the top due to the presence of this osmotic potential of mesophyll cells, which measures about 20 atmosphere. Then the second important evidence is that the process is purely physical, one which does not require a metabolic energy. Even energy is required, it will be of a very negligible quantity. So this is the second evidence which we are going to study in a next slide by certain experiments. Then the third evidence is the tensile strength of xylem sap is 25 to 300 atmosphere, and this will be enough to avoid breaking of water column. Tensile strength of the xylem sap, that means the water and dissolved minerals, is in the range of 25 to 300 atmosphere, and this much tensile strength is enough to avoid breaking of water column due to any reason. The mechanism working in a porous pot experiment compounds the ascent of sap through the transpiration pool. So here is the porous pot experiment. This is a simple experiment that clearly supports the view that there is a transpiration pool force that is responsible for ascent of sap. Now this is a one beaker or container containing mercury. This is another container containing same mercury. This is a glass tube. This is also a glass tube. The tip of glass tube is fitted with a twig, fresh healthy twig, and at the tip of this glass tube there is a porous pot. Porous clay or metallic pot is there. Now here in this pot experiment, when light falls on this pot, temperature of the pot increases, so the water molecules that are raised here from this tube get evaporated, which is a physical phenomenon, and that creates a column in this tube, and therefore the water column rises here from base to the apex, and it results into the upliftment of mercury level in a glass tube. So here mercury slowly and steadily rises in this tube. So this is a physical phenomenon. No living cell is involved here. Here the same mechanism is there. Instead of porous pot, the twig, fresh healthy twig of a plant is fixed to the tip of this glass tube containing water and dipped in a mercury. What happens when these leaves they get exposed to the light and temperature, atmospheric temperature? During daytime they transpire certain amount of water, and as a result of which water get lost from the leaves. So that transpiration usually creates a force that applies on the petiole of the leaves, to the twig of leaves, and ultimately to the branch of leaf through the xylem. So water get absorbed through this channel and get lost continuously when the process of transpiration continues, and as a result of which water in the tube rises steadily, and accordingly the mercury also get raised in this tube. So this is a transpiration, and this is a simple porous pot experiment, which is a physical one, and this clearly indicates that the process of ascent of sap is due to the cohesion tension, or it is simply due to the transpiration pool that is developed in the leaves of plants, and as a result of which water get uplifted at a considerable height up to 400 or 600 feet high in air. Then the next point is objections. This theory also has a very few or minor objections, but all these objections have been resolved or overruled by the workers who forwarded or postulated, or supporters of this theory overruled the objection. The first and only one objection is due to variation in temperature during day and night and large diameter of vessel, there are fair chances of entry of air bubbles in water column. In a xylem vessels, a continuous column is developed, but due to the fluctuation in temperature, day and night temperature, and diameter of the vessels are large, a air bubble may enter, and once the air bubble is entered into that column, there may be a break in a water column. This is the objection against this theory. But this objection doesn't stand because the water in xylem is under tension, and hence in this condition any air bubble formed will be dissolved soon, or it will disappear suddenly. This is the one solution or one answer given by the supporters of this theory. Then another supporter group says that the another explanation given for this is that as there are many xylem channels, there are so many pipelines, they are parallelly arranged or conducting strands in the stem, the water continuity will be maintained by the side channels. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी एक रस्ता, एक पाइपलाइन जर बंद झाली तर बाकीच्या पाइपलाइन मधनं हा कॉलम, वॉटर कॉलम हा कंटिन्युअसली चालू राहील, and which later on assume the normal track. आणि जो बंद पडलेला आहे, ट्रॅफिक जाम झाले एअर बबलने, तो काही काळानंतर तो एअर बबल डिझॉल्व होईल आणि तोही मार्ग म्हणजे ट्रॅफिक तिथली जाम झालेली वॉटर कॉलममध्ये तो एअर बबल डिझॉल्व झाल्यानंतर तोही ट्रॅक त्या ठिकाणी सुरू झालेला आपल्याला बघायला मिळेल. सो दिस इज अबाउट द transpiration pull theory or cohesion tension theory proposed by Dixon and Joly in 1884. The last point is the factors affecting ascent of sap. There are certain environmental factors, 5 to 6 factors are there which are important. We are going to discuss 5 different factors. One is soil water. Presence of water in the soil in which the root system of the plant is growing is important. So presence or absence of water in the soil in which plant is growing is the important factor that affects the ascent of sap. If water present in the soil is sufficient, then the ascent of sap is at a good rate. If water present in the soil is beyond its capacity, which we refer it as a waterlogging or waterlogged condition, in such cases the rate of ascent of sap decreases, and that soil is called as a physiological dry soil. The second important factor is the temperature, which is another main factor that affects the ascent of sap. And the increase in temperature, there is a increase in the rate of transpiration. So increase in temperature usually enhances the rate of transpiration, and as the rate of transpiration increases, the rate of ascent of sap also increases. At low temperature, rate of transpiration is low, and therefore you can observe decrease in a rate of ascent of sap. Then third one is a light, which has an indirect effect on the ascent of sap. You know that light controls the opening and closing of stomata, that is the rate of transpiration is under control of light, If light is present, stomata remains open. If light is absent, stomata get closed in most of the plants, and thus this light controls the rate of transpiration, and ultimately the rate of transpiration and rate of ascent of sap, they are directly related. So light ultimately affects the ascent of sap. If the light is intense, then transpiration rate increases and accordingly the ascent of sap increases. If light is absent or diffuse light is there, rate of transpiration is lower down, and ultimately it also lowers the rate of ascent of sap. Then fourth factor is atmospheric humidity. Here the atmospheric humidity, which is also called as relative humidity, also affects the rate of ascent of sap. You know that in a low humid atmosphere, rate of transpiration is high, and then ultimately rate of ascent of sap will no doubt high. While when the humidity is high, 100% humidity is high, rate of transpiration decreases, which we have studied in factors affecting transpiration. So under such humid conditions, the rate of transpiration get reduced, and ultimately it reduces the ascent of sap. Then fifth important factor is wind velocity. If wind velocity is high, again it increases transpiration, and thereby rate of ascent of sap is also increased. The reverse is the condition in case of low wind velocity, decreases ascent of sap. So all these factors that affects the ascent of sap are the factors that affects the transpiration. Those affecting transpiration also affects the ascent of sap. If the factor is increasing rate of transpiration, then it also increases ascent of sap also. So this is about the ascent of sap with respect to introduction and definition, then path of ascent of sap, then mechanism of ascent of sap by transpiration pool theory, and the factors affecting ascent of sap. Thank you.